going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we are going to be kind of showing the OEM Plus sway bar end link mod that I do on every single one of my Rebuilder, my Saver Jeep Grand Cherokee WJ. So this is going to work on 99 through 04 Jeep Grand Cherokees. Doesn't matter whether it's V8 or inline 6 or two-wheel drive or whatever. These are a really nice option for extended sway bar links with a lift, at least like a 2-inch lift on our Jeep Grand Cherokee WJs. Now I do have a super old video talking about the front sway bar end links, but I do not have anything talking about what I do on the rear of these. So I figured I would start this video talking about the rear. We'll show the install and then we can move to the front, and I can actually show a little more detailed install than what that super old video showed. So what I've got here is what I've got here is Jeep Wrangler JL factory rear sway bar links. Now that's a mouthful. So we're talking 2018 through now. Again, doesn't matter whether it's 2-door, 4-door, turbo 4, V6, whatever. These are the factory rear sway bar links. Now you might be going, well, you've got to buy them, right? Well, maybe not. Now, I do a whole bunch of lifts on JL Wranglers, and that's how you end up hopefully finding these for free or next to nothing with people in your local Jeep group. If they've done a lift on their JL Wrangler, they hopefully have replaced the sway bar links, and these are laying in their pile of old parts that are going to be good for absolutely nobody, since they are the stock length rear sway bar links other than us WJ folks. Now on to what I use for the rear of our WJs. Again, with that 2-inch plus lift, these are factory rear JT Gladiator sway bar links. Again, it doesn't matter what motor, whatever, these are the factory rear Gladiator sway bar links, and they are almost a direct bolt on to the back of a WJ, again with a 2 to 3-inch lift. Again, you're trying to find these for free or next to nothing the same way, because any Gladiator that is putting a nice lift on, you have extended rear sway bar links, and they are taking these off, throwing them in their old pile of parts, and you are then hopefully scooping them up for free or next to nothing for your slightly lifted WJ. So that's where you end up with your parts. And I guess we will kind of show the install on what or how I do these. So I'm going to cut to under the Jeep, and we will start installing our rear Gladiator factory sway bar links onto the back of our WJ with our 2-inch lift. All right, guys, so now that we are under here, we've got the thing up on jack stands. Please make sure you guys use jack stands so you don't get crushed by your WJ. Because our wallets are already crushed all the time with our WJ, so we don't want to actually be crushed. But moving on to our sway bar link, we've got a 15mm bolt up here and a 15mm nut with a 18mm head on that bolt. Now, what I wanted to show you before I pulled it apart was, even though this is in decent shape, the actual bushing is completely gone here in the bottom. You can see how much play, or I hope you can see how much play the sway bar has without even moving the bushing, because the sleeve that is inside of the lower bushing is absolutely gone. So we are killing two birds with one stone. The fact we are getting a longer sway bar link, because as you guys can see, this goes 2 inches longer than the factory link, and we are getting rid of the play in that lower bushing, and we are getting a very nice factory rubber ball joint style end. So we'll get the top bolt out of there. And then, like I said, we've got our 18 wrench. And we can get the lower out. No, I've already got the other side apart, so that's why the sway bar fell. But guys, here you can see that lower bushing with the plastic inner sleeve with all that slop in it. So again, this new setup makes it considerably better now that we don't have a floppy bushing. Now, this going back on luckily fits very nicely here in the top. The factory bolt will even go back through, but the issue is down low on our sway bar. Now, if I take the nut off of this, we can quickly see that the stud is larger than the hole in the sway bar. Now, if you have never attempted to drill a sway bar hole out larger, the metal is outrageously strong for whatever reason. It's very hard, I guess I should say. So what I found works really well are some deburring bits. Now, these are a super cheap set off of eBay for like 10 or 20 bucks. I mean, they were outrageously cheap, but they seem to do the job, and I basically just bought them for the single bit here. Now, it is a bit tedious, but again, I'm just taking that deburring bit and working one way, working back the other way, and eventually going all the way through the sway bar to enlarge that hole to fit our new aftermarket, or our new factory Gladiator links. And guys, like I said, for whatever reason, those deburring bits make absolutely quick work of the really strong sway bar material. And now we'll just be ready to throw our 18mm nut back on the bottom of this thing. And then again, once we lift this into place, it fits absolutely very factory. Now, one thing I will mention, the width of this bushing is a little bit narrower than the factory bushing up here at the top. So when you put that bolt through, yes, you could absolutely just put it through, tighten it down. It's going to pinch the bracket together and it's going to hold just fine. Or you can grab yourself a thick 1/2-inch washer and, you know, sandwich that in between the bracket and your new bushing, tighten that up, and now it's going to be a little bit nicer and not smash that factory bracket down. And now guys, just like that, we've got a very nice extended OEM Plus sway bar link that is going to work with our 2-inch lift. And we've gotten rid of our worn bushings here on the bottom and fresh bushings here on the top, and it fits very, very nicely. So guys, I'm gonna throw the other rear side on, and then we will jump up to the front so I can show you the little bit of modifications we've got to do to fit the factory JL rear links on the front of a WJ with our 2 to 3-inch lift. All right guys, so now we are ready for the front, and here we can see kind of the comparison of the stock links to the new links. Are maybe an inch taller here in the front, but again, like we talked about in the rear, we've got nice brand new bushings, and then on the top we have the really nice ball joint style joint instead of, again, a tired old rubber bushing. So we will get the old link buzzed off here. We've got an 18 bolt and an 18 nut on the top. And if you want to see something really ridiculous, here is our new 21, 22, whatever year JL link. Here's the nut that we just took off of the factory 99 Grand Cherokee. And yeah, you ready? Literally the same thread pitch. It is the same 18mm nut that came off of the new JL. So I don't know, I think that's kind of crazy, kind of cool that it is the same bolt, or excuse me, the same nut works from this 99 to a 2023. But again, we will continue here to get our link pulled off. On the bottom, we've got a 15mm bolt with an 18mm nut. All right, so now with that out of there, we can see the original tired old link. And in this case, I can actually twist the bushing in the upper part of this sway bar link. So this bushing is tired also, even though, again, it wasn't really making any noise, it wasn't doing anything bad, it's just, it is from 1999, so you can expect it to be a little bit tired. Now, for the most part, these are directly bolt on. They fit perfectly through the sway bar hole here. The 18mm nut will tighten right on, but the one issue is the lower bushing. The JL bushing is way wider than the bracket on our WJ. It won't even attempt to fit here. We can see, or at least I can see, I don't know about you guys, the bushing is just way beefier than the original here on the top versus the big JL on the bottom. So what we're going to need to do is grind down the bushing. Now, if you guys can see, there is a raised portion of the metal sleeve or insert inside of the bushing. What I found, kind of a good general rule of thumb, is if you take a grinder or whatever you're using to sand or grind this down, if you take basically that bushing and grind it down till you are then basically getting into the rubber bushing material and are flush with that, generally that is basically as narrow as you need to go. That will then fit into the bracket here. Yes, you could widen the bracket out, but I'd just rather make it fit. So I'm going to get on the grinder here, and then we will get that to fit in there and bolt this on, and then we will actually be done. All right, guys, so we've got the Milwaukee grinder here, and I do have safety glasses on. You guys absolutely tore me up in the previous video when I brought this out and did not have safety glasses at the house. So I am now safety glasses at the house, so you guys won't yell at me, and rightly so. I absolutely should have had some, but we are protected now. So again, I'm just taking that grinder, and now I'm just going to put my foot right where I'm grinding, but we're going to take it one step at a time here. We got the safety glasses. We're gonna claim these are steel toe work boots, and we are going to slowly work our metal bushing down to the rubber. So like I said, I'm going to take the bushing all the way down to the rubber on both sides, and then we will see how it fits on the Jeep. All right, guys, so here we are back in the garage. Now, like I said, bushing ground down to be flush with the rubber bushing, and now it slips right into place on our lower mount. So we can get it slid into place, and we will tighten down the upper. And get our lower slid back into place. And guys, now just like that, we have a modern, brand new, fresh bushing, fresh little upper ball joint style sway bar link that works with our 2, 3, 4-inch lift WJs. So yeah, it's a very cool OEM Plus mod. Well guys, hopefully that shows you a very cost-effective, maybe cheap way to get the correct length sway bar in links on your WJ. Again, after your 2, 3, even here with cheap Jeep, I am still running these JL links on the front with my 4 inches of lift and have absolutely no issues. Yes, I've had to upgrade to longer links in the rear with the 4-inch lift and the longer shocks and etc. But again, with the 2 to 3-inch lifts, these are an absolutely perfect setup to get rid of your old, clunky, worn-out bushing factory links, get the correct links, that's a hard thing to say, and hopefully, again, like I said, check on your local Jeep Facebook group, your local Jeep group, whatever, and see if you can round up a set of the front and rear sway bar links for your WJ, because guys probably have these things laying around in their garage because us Jeep guys never really throw away parts. You just kind of hoard and stash it to the side. So hopefully you can throw them a $20 bill and get yourself a set of cool, modern, OEM plus sway bar links that are absolutely never going to wear out. These things are going to outlast any aftermarket poly bushing, metal sleeve junk out there. Factory bushings, factory rubber booted ball joint, they're just gonna last forever, make no noise, and work really, really well on our WJs with a little bit of cutting, grinding, and enlarging of holes. So guys, hopefully you enjoy this little bit of a tip. It's just something I've done to every single one of these and thought I might actually talk about it since it is kind of a cheap thing to do. But yeah, I've got to grind the rest of this, get that side bolted on, get the wheels bolted back on, and then probably get out there in the driveway and clean up all of my metal shavings in a brand new driveway before the wife sees and is not terribly happy. So guys, thank you so much for coming out in the garage. It's about 110 degrees out here in Kansas right now, but at least I'm kind of out of the sun now that we are in the new garage. So, like I always say, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.